boosting Trump back in 2016. But I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda. And whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrent.
Holy crap. Did you just hear what Hillary Clinton just said about people who are Trump supporters that share information that they feel is valid? She feels they should be thrown in jail. Now, that is terrifying, especially knowing how the Biden and Harris administration colluded with big tech to censor American citizens online. You might not have even known that if you showed any support towards Trump, if you had any resistance or something negative to say about the pandemic, about even when they were wanting people to take the jab, your profile, your social media page would be shadow banned, if not completely taken down. Why? Just to find out years later that certain information that was shared actually worked. Also, people thought it was racist to say where it came from. Fast forward years later, we now know it really originated in China. And so who is the one that would decide what is good information and what's misinformation? Because if we're going to allow Mrs. Clinton to be the one to dictate that, let's not forget what happened with her with the 33,000 emails that was subpoenaed by Congress, where she was utilizing a private server to conduct official government business, which is a no-no. You are not supposed to do that. Engaging in foreign policy conversations and all types of stuff on a private server. And then when the server was subpoenaed by Congress, by the House, her server was bleached, destroyed, and emails were deleted. That's where that big, if you remember back in 2016, that big hoopla over the 33,000 emails, that was real. But as far as with what happened with President Trump, for none of that, for making a phone call over to Ukraine and finding out that the Biden administration, or should I say the Obama administration, had been eavesdropping and spying on his campaign. And he went through impeachments. But yet, the Secretary of the United States deleted 33,000 emails, bleached and destroyed the servers after subpoena from Congress. And this is the woman who now we just find out is going to be joining and has joined the Kamala Harris campaign. Check this out. Let's hear what she has to say about that.
Well, you know, I've talked with Kamala a few times. I obviously talked with her before the debate because he is more incoherent. He is angrier. He is lashing out all the time at everybody. He's filled with grievance and rage.
So really think about this now. So the same woman who said that she feels Americans should be thrown in jail for misinformation, and at the same time, she's joined the campaign of the woman running for leader of the free world, who herself is a huge fan of censorship, who herself wants to take the pew-pews away, who herself wants to give away free money to illegals while American citizens and veterans are struggling, who herself have done videos bragging about the strength of a stroke of her pen and how it could wreck somebody's life. And 2 weeks later, she could just change her mind. Matter of fact, take a look at, let me show you this. Here we go.
The power I have as a prosecutor is that with a swipe of my pen, I can charge someone with a misdemeanor, the lowest level offense possible. And by virtue of that swipe of my pen, you will have to go to a courthouse and stand in line. You will have to come out of pocket and hire an attorney. You may get arrested for a few hours. You will be embarrassed in your community. You will miss time from coming onto the Google campus, all because with the swipe of my pen, I've charged you with a crime, which I may choose to dismiss 2 weeks later. It's an incredible amount of power.
That is terrifying to know that this person who, with the stroke of her pen, could jack your life up and then 2 weeks later say, yeah, I was wrong. This is who will be potentially the leader of the free world. And then her running mate, Tim Walz, who I recently did a video on. If you don't know about Tim Walz, you need to know about Tim Walz. Learn about the law that he signed in Minnesota, legalizing sex changes for minors. Look at the policy he signed for late-term schmortions. Add the AB, you know what the schmortions are. Look at the policy he signed for what happens if a baby is born alive after a shmortion, what they do with it, what it is they do with a child who has life, who is breathing. Look at what the policy is in Minnesota for what happens. And please know that this is the policy that they want for the entire United States. They are gaslighting us. And now you got Hillary Clinton on her team, the same woman that said that she believes in jailing Americans for what she considers misinformation. Then we got the woman who says with the stroke of her pen and the immense power. And that was just as a prosecutor. Imagine as a president. So when we're getting ready to go into the voting booth on November the 5th, keep this in mind as you're filling out that early voting ballot form. Keep these things in mind because it's not a game.
Behaviors among everybody in the community, and just because you legally possess a gun in the sanctity of your locked home doesn't mean that we're not going to walk into that home and check to see if you're being responsible and safe in the way you conduct your affairs.
This is literally the most important presidential election of our lifetime. So let's make sure we do the right thing and educate ourselves. And if you haven't already, hit the like button. I greatly appreciate it. I'll never ask you for a cash app. I'll never ask you for a super chat. But I do ask for likes because the likes is like currency. It helps other people get the information. And that's what's important, that the information is shared. And if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscription, turn on the notification, hit all so you'll be updated when I release other videos. But this should terrify you, but should also make you aware to just how important this election is. I'm Brian Maxwell. I appreciate you for watching. I look forward to seeing you at the top and on the next video. Over and out.